Evening, a warm welcome, as always, to the Vanarama National League highlights show. Myself and Grant Holt at Mill Farm, home of Fylde, Eastleigh the visitors, and we'll get to the action here in due course. But we'll start the roundup with the team that started the day top of the tree. That was Woking, they were at Chorley, and Sam Ashew has more.
It probably wasn't the best time for 23rd placed Chorley to go up against top of the table Woking. The home side have relied on Chris Holroyd's goals so far, who had scored 4 of their last 5. A fine finish made it 5 out of 6. The Lancashire side had only chalked up 1 win all season before this one, whilst Woking had only lost once. Not entirely surprising then for them to level up before the break. Dave Tarpey with number 4 of the campaign. Fast forward to 90 minutes and watch the top right of your screen. Woking down to 10 after what the official Chorley Twitter account described as a clothesline from Ben Jerring. All square it finished at Victory Park. Bromley went into this one knowing a win could take them to top of the table. Neil Smith's side got off to the dream start too when on-loan Charlton midfielder Alfie Doughty lashed home in the 4th minute. Notts County, meanwhile, had lost just 1 in 8 going into this one and got back into it 8 minutes before half-time with this curling effort from Kyle Wootton. But the temptation to go top was too much to turn down for the home side. After County failed to clear, the ball fell to debutant Sean McCulsky, who rifled home the winner and sent his side to the summit and 2,700 Bromley fans into raptures.
You bring on Sean, who come in yesterday to meet the boys, and what a way to win the game. You know, he's come in, he's not got a lot of game time. They want him to score goals, and come and does that for us on his debut.
After previously winning 4 in a row, Halifax were looking to end a run of 2 straight defeats. Pete Wild's side started well, Toby Show-Silver finishing off a fine team move. 3 minutes later it was 2, top scorer Liam McAlindum finding space in the box to slot past goalkeeper Scott Loach. But Barnet hit back, and in some style too. Simeon Akinola with this lovely curling effort to halve the deficit. From 3 goals in 5 minutes to 4 in 9 when Charlie Adams levelled things up with a little help from the post. But Halifax are promotion contenders for a reason, and with 20 minutes to go, Liam Nolan slid in to put his side back in front. And the Shamen wrapped things up when the ball fell to Show-Silver, who scored his 2nd of the game with this fine finish. Halifax up to 2nd, whilst Barnet were condemned to their 1st away defeat of the season. Now, today might just be a day that Yeovil's Luke Wilkinson remembers for a while. The defender was in the right place at the right time to put his side 1-0 up early on in the second half. Fast forward then to 83 minutes and he was the victim of what looked like a nasty elbow to the head from Solihull's Danny Wright. No card given though, the referee deeming it unworthy of anything more than a foul. Wilkinson then found himself in goal just 3 minutes later when injury forced keeper Liam O'Brien off. And if that wasn't enough, the defender turned striker turned stopper made this wonder save from, you guessed it, Danny Wright. 1-0 it finished with 3 points and a broken nose for Wilkinson. A gladiatorial performance from the Glover with the gloves.
We'll get to Luke Wilkinson, I promise, in a minute. But Bromley, I suppose, the story, they've gone top with that win. 7 wins, 5 draws, unbeaten. And everything he's touching at the moment, Neil Smith, seems to turn more or less to goal. That's Sean McCluskey just arrived and scores the winner.
Yeah, he said a few weeks ago that he's just been working on different things as they've been going along, and he didn't think they'd be anywhere near where they were. I said it always helps when the ball comes out, you try and volley it in one corner, it goes in the other. But they're just a good, hard-working side. We've seen them a couple of times this year, and they're organised. They said they're young, they're learning, and they're getting better and better, and the things are falling for the moment. And when you get in that mode, and when you really get into that, and you keep winning, and you keep doing things, you just believe you're going to get the results, and they seem to be churning them out.
No, absolutely. He said that they perhaps had suffered a bit with the hangover of going to Wembley and losing the trophy final, but they've kind of reorganised themselves over the course of the last season. I think they've recruited well with a decent budget, and they look good.
Yeah, I think they're done really, really well. I think they're solid. I think they're probably the most consistent team we've seen this far, and you can see that in the results.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke Wilkinson, man of
oh my God.
Man of the day. I mean, it's like a Grant Holt story. This in a wrestling ring, isn't it? Scores the winner, breaks his nose, and actually I think Danny Wright's a little lucky.
To be honest, the only thing that wasn't good about it is the referee never sent Danny Wright off, because it looks like a shocking elbow from what we're seeing.
Yeah,
I said he gets a scruffy goal, takes it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeovil on the march as well under Darren Sarll in recent weeks, but
easy save, look.
Oh, terrific save.
Look at that. I'm not sure the goalkeeper coach would be happy with his technique when he landed with his split legs and stuff, but that's what you want, don't you, when someone's done that to you, to keep him out. But what a story. But Yeovil, wow, on the march. We've seen them at Barrow, and I was really worried about them. They weren't really at it, and since then they've absolutely flying out the traps.
Yeah, is that points drop for Woking? Obviously started the day top at Chorley, but Chorley have kind of turned a bit of a corner to Jamie Vermillion recent weeks. Not winning many, but drawing where they were losing. They've
shoed up at the back, which we knew they were shipping far too many goals. And to be honest, it's not an easy place to go. It's not easy to go there. And for them, it's another point in the board. It keeps them up. They didn't dream they'd be there at the start of the season anyway. So to get a point on the road for them is fantastic. We know how good their home form is, so they'll be happy with that, I think.
Yeah, and Alan Dowson's Woking still only a point off Bromley, the new leaders. Let's turn our attention to a number of other clubs who will definitely be hoping to be around the promotion conversation come the end of the season. Seb Hutchinson has the details.
56 Dover fans made the long journey up to the northeast with hopes of moving into the top 5, and their loyalty was rewarded when Ini Effiong was fouled by Aaron Cunningham for a first-half penalty. Effiong had already failed from the spot twice this month, but this time round he stepped up to convert his 7th goal of the season. All bar one have come away from home. What followed the penalty was particularly unsavoury, with allegations that Effiong received racist abuse from the crowd. The incident led to an 8.5-minute delay to the restart. The controversy continued in the second half, following referee Joe Johnson's decision not to award the home side a penalty. Ryan Donaldson had a bit too much to say in protest and was shown a straight red with 10 minutes remaining. His manager Craig Hignett was also given his marching orders just seconds after Donaldson's departure, as Hartlepool lost their discipline as well as the match. Dover would add a second only 4 minutes after the red cards. Effiong's effort bundled over the line by Stephen Rigg to ultimately move the Whites into the playoff places. Hartlepool were reduced to 9 men before the restart, as Nicky Featherstone had a few choice words for the man in the middle. An eventful contest ending on a sour note, though the real headlines will be what happened after that first goal.
I was prepared to come off the pitch with Craig's team as well. Craig said to me, I'll back you, let's take the players off. But I asked the players and they said they want to carry on playing. So at one stage, I was going to get the game abandoned. That's how I felt strongly about it. And so did Craig. We were going to just come off the pitch and see what happened. But to be fair to the players, they wanted to carry on, and credit to them.
With just one home win this season, Maidenhead hosted Harrogate at York Road and duly fell behind in the first 10 minutes. Alex Bradley's free kick and a header from Sam Jones, his first goal for the club. But an equaliser arrived 12 minutes later and in some style. Shamir Fenlon with an excellent strike to earn the Magpies a point, though not enough to stop them falling from the playoff places. Just 3 points separated mid-table Torquay and 6th place Dagenham before this meeting at Plainmoor, and that was how it stayed. Daggers midfielder James Dobson drawing a save from Brazilian goalkeeper Lucas Cavagnari early in the second half. Jake Andrews struck the crossbar with the free kick in the 90th minute as the game ended goalless, and Dagenham now 8 matches unbeaten.
No goals there. Obviously the story, good and bad really, is at Hartlepool. Great win for Dover, but that's only part of the story. Very distressing to hear accusations of racism from some Hartlepool fans towards Ricky Modeste and Ini Effiong and other Dover players.
Yeah, I said you can't condone anything like that.
No.
I said it's very difficult. It's very difficult when obviously we can't see it with Donna's gone, but we've heard what we've said and we've seen the tweets that came out already.
I'll read you a couple of those. This is from Ricky Modeste, the Dover winger. What a sad day, said Ricky on social media for football. I'm all for fans giving opposition players stick, but the disgraceful racist comments and gestures that us players received today was way over the line. We're only human and are there to do a job. And actually, also worth pointing out a comment from the Dover side is from Ricky Medesperate. From the Hartlepool side, Craig Hignett, the boss there, saying afterwards, look, racism has no place in football and no place in life, and those people will be dealt with severely because that is not us as a football club. That is at least something positive from what is a dark day for Hartlepool. That
it's disgusting. There's no other word. You can't be going to football matches. You can't be doing that, saying life in general. It's absolutely disgusting. And then people should be dealt with severely. Everything, whatever they can chuck, whatever they said that they should do, because there's no place for it. We need it out of the game. As said, Hezi said he was going to walk off.
Yeah.
And they decided between the two of them that they wouldn't do that. And they said, is that the answer? Which is another debate altogether. It's just disgusting. I said, and it mars a good result for Dover.
Absolutely. We're actually at Crabble next weekend over the hosts for us and indeed for the opposition of Halifax, so we'll see how they get on next Saturday. Worth pointing out also that terrific equaliser of Shamir Fenlon for Maidenhead, game they might otherwise have taken nothing from. It's only a point. They do drop out of the top 7, but it's a terrific hit, this.
Yeah, it's a fantastic strike. They've started really well, mate. And I said, these are tough. We talk about in the National League, every game's tough. This is unbelievable. No backlift. Fantastic finish. And I said, they'll be happy with that point. I said, they'll take that. They'll run their run at the moment. They'll take the point and roll in the next one.
Yeah, Harrogate, another of those teams that did really well last season, play nice football. It's just not quite happening for them.
It's just not happening this season. Obviously, last year was it the momentum of them going up and staying there, but they haven't really clicked again this year.
No, not yet.
As I said, he's still got a tight-knit squad, and they're not the biggest depth, and a few got pinched up him this year, and it's been a tough old start for them.
Yeah, we're actually at Harrogate early next month, so we'll see them up close and personal in early October. Next, we'll have more of today's action, including what happened here at Mill Farm. Fylde and Eastleigh. Fylde desperate for 3 points. Turn a bit of a corner. Could they do it here? We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the National League Highlight Show. So to action here at Mill Farm, our featured game today. Fylde, so good last season, so far this. Against mid-table Eastleigh, only one defeat in 6 for Ben Streven's side. Watching for us, Adam Virgo and Adam Summerson.
Kept in here by Duxbury, whipped over a good cross as well, and Willoughby really should have scored. Brilliant ball over.
Should have been a goal.
Goalkeeper stays put, and it's off the crossbar. So close to an opening goal.
He just rises above net and holds himself in the air brilliantly and just guides the header towards goal. So unlucky not to hit the back of the net.
Cross it comes to Bradley, who's got Willoughby to his right. Bradley goes on and it's deflected and in. Just what Fylde needed. A big slice of luck. Huge deflection on the shot from Bradley.
And you deserve that little bit of luck sometimes.
So unlucky, wasn't he, Atkinson, with that deflection. Challenge, not great, by Jameson on Barnes. Needs a good delivery, and it's good, and it's an equaliser. And it's the captain, Danny Hollins, who can celebrate.
Fylde at their own downfall. Poor throw-in that led to this free kick. And the captain's come up trumps yet again.
Croasdale, the third unsuccessful playoff attempt of his career last season. Croasdale, as Fylde were beaten in that final. Williams has cut inside, opens up for the shot. Oh, that's brilliant. Fantastic goal by Jordan Williams.
Williams gets on the turn there, goes inside Green, far too easy. Now all of a sudden the slight slip there from Atkinson. It's a control finish, and it's a great finish as well.
Croasdale looking for Bradley, man who opened the scoring. Bradley's deep cross, and Rose there, and Croasdale. Oh, off the line, and now it's in. Fylde have a 2-goal cushion, and it's Croasdale who gives it to them.
Danny Rowe unselfishly heads it back to Croasdale, takes it just past Payne, but then that desire to go again and just almost toe poke it. It's a well-taken goal.
Dave, how good is it to taste victory again?
Very, very good. It'll make the weekend a whole lot more enjoyable. We needed that. Listen, we're not going to hide behind it. That's got to be the start of hopefully a run for us. I said before the game to the players, I've got total belief in the squad that we've got in there, and I know based on where we were 2 years ago after 18 games that we are capable of putting a run together and getting ourselves back involved in it. And the aims and ambitions haven't changed. We've just made it a lot more tougher for ourselves than we'd have liked.
How are you feeling after that game?
Yeah, frustrated. No credit to Fylde. They've been on a bit of a sticky run themselves, and they've come and got the 3 points today. Probably in the first half, a couple of key moments. We hit the crossbar and it didn't go in, and then they've scored a shot from about 20-25 yards out that's deflected over our goalie. On another day that don't go in. But having said that, we got it back level and we was right in the game, and then we got punished and we've lost the game 3-1.
Well, Holty, that frustration born out from the scenes that we picked up from the away dressing room, where Ben kept them in there for a good few minutes explaining what went wrong. What will his frustration be with the manner of the way they went down?
I think first half probably not getting anything out of it when they were really dominating and giving away a cheap goal with the deflection. Second half, definitely. They didn't really start that well. They let Fylde get on top of them really quickly, and the goals were really poor. Easy to stop. This one they worked on. That's fine. Yeah. We can take that. They worked on getting out to him. They have a little bit of. You can't really moan about it. He's had a shot. Your defenders try to block it and it's looped over. You've got to get on with that as much as this one. But in the game, this one, if you're going to go tight, go tight. Two, then don't slip, do something. Someone engage the ball. You can't complain about the finish at the end. It's a fantastic finish. But this bit you can. Here he slips.
But it's twice where there's a big hole in the middle of the pitch that one player's run.
The second half, they just couldn't get the gap right. And even the third one here, the cross comes in, Danny Rosette, two lads run back on the line for no reason. He comes out, then he misses the ball, and then he scrambles and gets in. That's his frustration.
Yeah.
It'd be the fact that it's not that Fylde have beat them, it's the fact that they've actually beat themselves because they were in the game and just give silly goals away at bad times.
Yeah, Fylde, as Dave Challoner quite rightly pointed out, will breathe a little easier and enjoy their weekend after a much-needed win. 4 more games, 4 more teams and managers under pressure. Andy May's got the details.
Ebbsfleet were on a run of 3 in a row without defeat, but after 8 minutes in this one they trailed, a curler from John Rooney ensuring Barrow had still scored in all of their away games. There was more to come in the second period from Ian Evert's men. From the off, Scott Quigley got the better of Jordan Holmes, quickly making it 2-0 at the Cufflink Stadium. A third then followed in Kent. Josh Kay played his part, and Quigley was again on hand with the end product. Barrow are a victory away from the playoffs. Before kick-off, Sutton hadn't won in 6. It didn't stop them taking the lead in the capital, though, as David Ajiboye crossed for Aaron Jarvis, who helped Luton Town earn promotion to the Championship. Still in the first period at the Knights Community Stadium, Matt Gray's men doubled their lead. This time Tommy Wright was on target for the U's, his second in 2 starts. With a quarter of an hour remaining, 3 points were secured, with Luke Coddington again beaten by Jarvis. And getting in on the act in the 5th minute of added time, the hosts' leading scorer this term, Harry Beautyman's on 6 for the campaign, as Sutton jumped to 13th in the table. Aldershot won at home for the first time this season, and it was thanks to a 94th minute goal from ex-Leicester City player Harry Panayiotou. Shots are now also 4 points clear of the drop zone. "20 minutes into a maiden meeting between these two, the hosts' Kabongo Shimanga was played through by Sorba Thomas, beating Ian Ormson to open the scoring. Wood were after consecutive home victories for the first time in almost a year. Approaching the half-hour mark, provider Thomas turned scorer, netting a first of his professional career. And prior to the interval, there was more for Stockport to contend with. Beating County's offside trap, the dangerous Shimanga bagged an 8th of the campaign. In the second period, after Shimanga missed a penalty and his hat-trick, a sub of Luke Garrard's Justin Shebu teed up Tyrone Marsh, who completed a superb 4-0 thrashing.
Well, no crisis, I'm sure, at Stockport, who've had a great run. It's kind of fallen apart in the last couple of weeks. But crisis at Chesterfield and John Sheridan, 4-0 beaten by Sutton today. That is not good.
That is not good. To go there and get them 4 of Sutton. As I said, they've not been Sutton. It's not like Sutton have been ripping up trees at the moment. They've been all right. But
yeah.
I said the goals, they're just shooting us down the foot all the time.
It's too easy, isn't it?
We
watched
just
Sutton
giving
and
gifts.
Wrexham last week. They're decent, but they're not. They shouldn't be beating anybody 4-0, really. Least of all Chesterfield, with heavy recruitment, good manager.
It's just a man of the goals again. Even there, he's managed to get through a corner. And when you're down there and things are going against you, that's what happens. But I said you can't be going to Sutton and getting them 4.
No, I mentioned that we watched Sutton at Wrexham last week. There's another manager trying to change the way Wrexham have played for the last few seasons in Brian Hughes. Clearly under pressure. Again, I think it's 94th minute winner for Aldershot.
You
Great
don't
win for
need
Danny
it.
Sill, but
You don't need that.
No.
I said we seen last week when we were there, they were shouting and starting to turn a little bit, and then they managed to get back in the game, have a little bit of pressure and get the penalty and get the Sill back in it. But when you're down there and the looks against you, that's what keeps happening. 94th minute, and I said good win for Aldershot, man.
oh, terrific for Danny Sill and Aldershot. Absolutely much needed win, and it goes to show just how this league would drive you mental as a manager.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's great for us neutrals.
It's great for us, as I said, but this league does grab your nuts because all of a sudden we watch a table and it drops and they're there and they're there, and we just talked about Barrow there.
Exactly.
3 points off the playoffs. Unbelievable.
I know, without Grant Holt. Listen, speaking of the table, let's have a little look at who's where, because it shifts the sands of the National League pretty quickly. Bromley top, unbeaten, as we've mentioned, a point clear of both Halifax and Woking. Yeovil, Dover, Barnet and Dagenham make up the top 7. And at the other end, it is Ebbsfleet, Gary Hill's side, just a point adrift of Chesterfield. Then it's Chorley, who we've mentioned have picked up a little, and Wrexham. To see Wrexham and Chesterfield in the bottom 4 is quite a surprise. Eastleigh, obviously with today's defeat, mired at the wrong end as well. And a pointer, as I mentioned a little earlier, towards our next offering for you. We're at Crabble next Saturday. Dover Athletic, in front of their own fans, obviously made the long trip, a number of them, to suffer, albeit in victory, the nasty accusations of racist behaviour. But at Halifax, the visitors to Dover next Saturday, and we've got that one for you in the National League next week. Long trip back to Norwich?
Yep.
You got used to that on a Saturday night, haven't you? But you can reflect on the quality defending that you see in this division.
Yeah, I certainly can.
He still wishes he was playing. That's the kind of defending you
keep getting gives like that,
occasionally get in this division. Well done, Bromley, still unbeaten, top of the pile, and Fylde, of course, 3 important points for Dave Challoner. See you next time.